What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to That Car Vlog channel. My name is Andy, and if you don't already know, this is my 1996 Kia Sportage. Just about a year ago, I picked this car up from a dealer in Knoxville for $1,000. It's almost a year. It will be a year this Sunday, the 24th. However, I'm shooting this a little bit early because the weather is not going to allow for that. When I bought this car, it had 118,595 miles on it. Yes, that's the exact number. I actually looked it up on the paperwork from last year. And now, current mileage is 128,530. We're 65 miles away from having put 10,000 miles on this car this year. In fact, by the time this video goes up, we'll have probably surpassed that 10,000 mile mark by a few miles. And now this random train is moving in the middle of shooting a video. I hope this doesn't get too noisy. Now, I'm not going to do a full review of this car. I've already done that not long after I bought it. That video is up on the channel, so if you want to go back and check that out, I'll put a link in the description to make it easier for you. I'll just touch on a few key points of this car for anyone who hasn't seen it before. Again, this is a 1996 Kia Sportage. This is the first generation Kia Sportage. It is actually the second year Kia as a brand was available in the United States. They began life in Korea in '93 and came to the States in '95. So this is their second year. Under the hood, we have a 2-liter dual overhead cam inline 4-cylinder engine, putting out, I believe, 130 or so horsepower, if I remember right when I did the review. These were available in automatic or manual, also 2- or 4-wheel drive. Mine is manual and 4-wheel drive. The 4-wheel driving system in this truck does work, and it seems to be pretty stout. I hope to get it on some trails sometime in the near future, but we'll just see about that. Well, let's just talk about the experience of owning this car. Now, when I picked it up, of course, being 22 years old at the time, 23 now, it already had several quirks about it. As you see here, this weather stripping on the window is weird back here, and it looks like maybe an attempt to reseal it. Really, the only bad rusty spot in the body is right here behind the driver's side taillight, or in front of it rather. And that is a hole clean through it. That, hey, there's a little bit of rust. This fender had these dents in it. Here's this one here the door rubs on, and here's this one behind the headlight, which is the worst. Has this broken headlight here, if I can wiggle it. Wheels are almost uncleanable. I've tried. There's just a little walk around of the car. Obviously, it's got plenty of paint blemishes. Being 23 years old, little surface rust on places like on this tire carrier, little oxidation or corrosion, whatever you want to call it there. But the most important part is it's a very reliable car. I'll step inside. Interior has plenty of quirks as well. Obviously, we have panels that don't fit right anymore, and there and here. This rearview mirror is loose as a goose. I can just breathe on this thing and it'll move. Have a trim piece missing from the A-pillar on the passenger side. Just little things to expect with an old car. Now, it does have some mechanical quirks as well. Beginning with starting it. Take a listen to this. So as you can see, it takes a minute, really a few seconds, of cranking to start it when it's warmed up. When it's cold, first thing in the morning, it'll fire right over. But after it's warmed up, it kind of has to crank for a minute. But it starts every single time, and that's a reliable car. While we're at it, here's another little quirk from the previous owner. There's a cherry bomb under there, or something similar. The other big mechanical quirk with this particular car that I own is the transmission, and more specifically the synchronizers inside of it. Apparently those are shot, and so when shifting normally you get a grind or a rake into each gear. Here, take a listen. Downshifting is even worse for the grind. So let's get back up into third gear. And let's downshift into second. It's an even worse sound. Now I have taught myself, with the help of YouTube videos, how to double clutch and skip or counteract or avoid the grinding or raking into each gear. Take a listen to this. Second gear still isn't perfect, but third gear through fifth are very good. Second still isn't perfect, but it's a lot better. All right, let's get this thing on the road. So like I was saying before, despite all the weird little quirks with this thing and the starting issue and the transmission synchros, I can't complain about the way this car's treated me. Pretty much it starts every time. It stays in gear when you put it there. It's actually been a very reliable daily driver, and that's why I bought this thing last year, was because my old 76 Chevy was just simply in no condition to be a daily driver anymore. Head gasket leak, fueling issue. It was just getting too old, too many problems. Obviously nothing that I can't sort out eventually, but it wasn't gonna do the job as a daily driver anymore. And as it turns out, the day after I bought this Kia, the truck wouldn't start. And so, I mean, I got this thing just in time. As far as mechanical problems to where I've not been able to drive it, I've only ever had one thing done to this truck or car or whatever you want to call it, SUV, and that was sometime last year. I had the timing belt and water pump, as well as the timing belt pulleys, all that replaced. Nothing had given out yet, but according to the mechanic that did the work, it was long overdue. From what he told me, the small pulleys were starting to seize up. Hadn't yet, but definitely were starting to, and a few hundred miles more than that they probably would have. Of course, that ended up costing me about $550 or so, but well worth it. I was only down the car really maybe a few days, really, while they were doing the work. And other than that, this thing's been great. Obviously, it's Not a sports car. It's not sporty in any fashion, despite being called a sport utility vehicle. It's not fast. And to some, with the exhaust that's on it, it's a bit obnoxious. But I've been very pleased with the performance of this car over the last year in 10,000 miles. Other than the timing belt job, all I've ever done to this thing is regular oil changes, including one the day after I bought it. Because unfortunately on some used car lots that sell low quality stuff like this, the oil may need changing right out the gate. I've said it in previous videos, my review, my 6-month update. I would definitely recommend this car to anybody looking for a small economical SUV. Now, I did have one other quirk that I had to get worked out within the first 6 months that I had this car. And what that was when I got it, certain things either didn't work or they cut in and out. The biggest thing that didn't work was my power windows. And so I went to investigate the problem. I found the relay center under the dash and started trying relays to see if they were bad. Pulling them out, putting other ones in their place, just trying to see what was up. And after I had fidgeted with that, not only did my windows still not work, my horn didn't work, my rear defroster didn't work, and all kinds of stuff that was tied into that relay panel didn't want to work. I'd also been fidgeting with the fuses to try to figure this out as well. And it turns out I had a lot of bad fuses or wrong fuses down in the fuse block. Now, I had put together a small update video talking about the little things that I'd found that were going on with the car, but I never really got that put out. But I'm going to cut here in a second to a clip from that video showing the fuses and one other interesting thing that I found underneath the dash. And when I pulled the fuse block out, I found all kinds of corrosion all over the contacts on the back. And also pulling wires out failed and I actually ripped one of the wires, but I managed to mend it. So no harm done. But when I put it back on, a whole bunch of other stuff stopped working. My corner markers and taillights quit working. My radio quit working. My in-dash clock, my dome light, all that stuff quit working. So I went and started looking at the fuses. And this is what I found. I hope you can tell. These fuses were an absolute mess. These are the old fuses out of my block. Look at all this nasty corrosion all over these things. Check this one out. Somehow this still worked. Not to mention, there's a lot of fuses here that did not belong. Some 30 amperes that didn't need to be there. Someone before me put a lot of fuses in the wrong places, replaced a lot of low amp fuses with high amp ones. An absolute miracle that my car hasn't burned to the ground yet. So as you can tell, that was an interesting situation, but I got that all fixed and all that stuff works now. Even the horn, as manly as it sounds, that's just the greatest thing ever. But once again, I'd highly recommend one of these if you're looking for a cheap, reliable, small SUV. Expect quirks, expect issues. Kia was a young company back in the day when this was made, but that considered, I actually think they did a fairly decent job with this car. So there you have it. That's the 1-year ownership update of my 1996 Kia Sportage. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative, just like the other videos on it. If you did enjoy this, you like what you see, you want to see other stuff, make sure to watch the other videos on my channel. Like I said, I have a few more with this. I got some with my truck. I just put a review up of a Dodge Durango RT. Pretty cool. Go check that out. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you know when I put up videos. Give me a thumbs up. Drop a comment down below. Tell me what you think of the Kia. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and Facebook at that car vlog channel. And we'll see y'all again real soon. Take it easy.